For those of us who live and breathe crypto, Bitwise is a name you want to know. They've been in the game since 2017 and now manage over 10 billion in crypto assets across 30 different solutions. Index funds, Bitcoin and crypto, equity ETFs, on-chain solutions, you name it, Bitwise does it. But here's what I really recommend checking out. Their weekly CIO memo. Every week, CIO Matt Hogan breaks down what's happening in crypto, like why Bitcoin's up or down, what the big institutions are doing, and the stories flying under the radar. It's sharp, it's free, and honestly, it's one of the best reads in crypto. Find it at bitwiseinvestments.com/CIO memo. Again, bitwiseinvestments.com/CIO memo.
It does feel, luckily, like the market has come back a bit. I think this time last week, we were maybe bouncing off basically the lows, which was just north of 80K. And we were probably doing the show around 83K, 84K, and we just touched around 80. Everything was all looking a bit south. And I think we had Spencer on, who was a good conversation, but it has since bounced over the course of this week. It was a little bit, we had a couple of false dawns, but we're back up to around 92, 93K on Bitcoin, which is perhaps the main indicator. And I guess you can probably guess where everything else is kind of lying after that. ETH just above 3K. Solana is around 140. So mixed bag, but it is good to see Bitcoin kind of not just going vertically down as it had been for a while.
Yeah, it was aggressive, dude. I have to say, like, it was hella depressing. I mean, I host a morning show with you, like you said, so we have to turn up every day, but it's depressing, like, when every single day, like, you wake up to, like, not a small red candle, like a fat red candle, and then you go home on the weekend, you're like, it's going to be a low volume weekend, and we're going to pump and squeeze, and you just dump more, right? So it's like 7 days straight of dumping. Is aggressive. So 91K this week feels amazing. 91K 2 weeks ago felt like, we were going to lose our houses, but we'll take it.
Yeah, it is exactly like that. Actually, I saw a post by Raul this week, basically saying everyone just chill out. We're going to return to this long-term correlation for global liquidity. There were a couple of things over the last week. There was that viral post about how Bitcoin's basically over and its view around money has kind of fallen apart. And then you had just general doomerism, lots of liquidations. It did feel like peak bear about a week ago. And that was shown in the indicators, right? We were the most oversold we've ever been on certain indicators. And we've had a decent bounce. It's difficult to tell right now if this is going to be more than just a bounce. It still looks like we're comfortably below some of the longer term trend indicators like the weekly moving averages, but we're at least regaining some form of a stronghold. I don't know at this stage. Like, I have largely reduced my Bitcoin, or I've reduced a decent amount of my Bitcoin allocation since it kind of broke below that 50-week moving average. I didn't really buy back in aggressively. I did buy a couple of alts, strangely, this week, because weirdly it has felt like alts aren't doing so badly suddenly. Like, Bitcoin dominance, normally in a move from 120 to 80K, you'd assume Bitcoin dominance would head higher, but it's kind of just gone flat and maybe even drifted lower in some spots, which has meant some altcoins have actually outperformed. This week we had Hyperliquid, which is kind of drifted back towards even 40 today, and they've got some key unlocks tomorrow, so people are looking at that. You had some of the memes looked relatively strong again, which is a little bit surprising. It just doesn't feel as bad suddenly for altcoins than maybe Bitcoin.
No, I agree. I mean, I put a tweet out the other day, something along the lines like BTC dominance is not looking the best. And I think that's something you pointed out to us first, on the show. And it was like, I had trouble breaking back about 59%. It's probably still there, right? It was at 58%. It's not looking great, but it's still strong. It probably is higher now. But then you look at some like stronger memes and stuff like Hype, and surprisingly, Ethereum is holding above 3,000. Solana has always been good. I mean, those Bitwise ETFs are really gobbling up Solana, dude. So it's been pretty good to see. And ironically, like, for the first time in a while, I've been kind of bullish. I don't want to say alts. I think alt season's never coming back, but some alts are looking good, right? There's just too many alts of alt season. Like, you can't call alt season because like a million alts, but the market doesn't look bad.
Put that in perspective, some of the biggest gainers on the week, we have Pepe, SHIB, Farkcoin.
Farcoin, yeah.
It's like a strange move.
REKT, like all of these coins are up a lot.
Yeah, and then like you said, a number of the L1s have actually been better. So we've had Solana, XRP, ETH, all beating Bitcoin on the week. And it's not a period where they'd been underperforming before as well. They've matched Bitcoin's performance and then almost bounced stronger. So strange bit of the market right now. I'm not like super drawn into so many of those stories yet because I think they can be very dangerous if we don't like regain some of these bull market metrics. But I'm generally still of the belief that we will return to that correlation with with things like global liquidity, gold price, which again, gold looks like it's heading back to all-time highs. Stocks bounced pretty aggressively this week too. Like there was a little bit of a worry about the Mag 7 and Google just kind of it really just seems like a rotation out of Nvidia into Google, which has just meant everything just looks pretty good again. And yeah, like I said, I still have reduced my allocations, but I'm looking at this sort of stuff, and I feel like that's the sentiment around CT too. It feels like everyone is underinvested almost and waiting to see kind of what happens suddenly.
Yeah. I mean, look, you know me, I'm a perma bull. But recently it's been very hard for me to be one of those. I mean, I have to keep the brand going, right? I'm always bullish because I'm a long-term player. I'm a founder. I'm sure we'll talk about that in a bit. So my outlook on crypto is extremely bullish up into the right long term, but hyper short term, like between today and end of year, I was not the most bullish anymore. Not positions like that either, because the last few weeks have been horrible. But I like what
You
I'm seeing,
deployed
man.
this week. You deployed this week as well.
Yeah, I bought a lot of Farcoin actually. I just bought some more while you were talking, because we just got some red at a 346. But I like a Farcoin. I'm not trying to pump my bags because it's just like it went up 100% from the lows. Wintermute is fully out. It's not a meme, but they're actually out. Like some people went through their wallets and posted about it, and it's usually a good leading indicator of how the market's doing. And then I don't want to show REKT too much, but obviously it's REKT Vision. But I am a top 20 holder there. I never sold. I've been holding it for a year and a half, so I have a lot of that, which is good to see come back up from those liquidation cascades. And then I like hype, Mando. I mean, the unlock start tomorrow. It pumped from $29 to 36 and some change. I sold my longs at 36.2, I think. And I'm waiting patiently right now to get back in. I mean, all you need is like someone to write a thread about one employee selling their hype allocation, and then you'll probably get a good dip opportunity on it, right? So the thing is, these people deserve it, right? They sent a token to like 30 billion FDV. I think out of all people, they really deserve a good paycheck, but you know how it is. And so I'm gonna be looking at that the most. I'm not looking at Bitcoin as much as the other ones.
It's interesting though, because last time Bitcoin slowed down, you did see a bit of a meme season as well. So the reason why we're talking about this is because it's strange to see that to me. Like memes have been almost uninvestable for a long time. Farkcoin went from 2 billion down to 300 million.
180.
Yeah, 180. Similarly, you saw 80 to 90% drops in things like Pepe and some of the major memes. So it's just interesting to see those lead altcoins again for the first time in a long time, probably since this time last year, really. And even then, it was like different sorts of memes, right? It was like the runner of the day. So I do think culture, if we are entering a period of, let's say, sideways or even a mini bear, let's say, I do think I would be very unsurprised if memes do better again, just because the people who kind of stick around are often the culture carriers, and they tend to like memes. And then, yeah, the second thing you said was around the perp dexes. So there's obviously it's gotten even more competitive, if that was possible, in perp dexes, and we've seen Lighter become a much bigger player over the last few weeks. People have been looking that people speak very highly of the founder. I think he graduated from Harvard at something like 18 and worked at Citadel for a while, and he's built this protocol. Wow. But Hyperliquid, there's been a lot of bullishness. Yeah, the unlocks I think are a bit mixed. People think they might restake the team supply, but the main thing is about equity perps, which I think we spoke about last week or a few weeks ago that this is going to be the product that stays with crypto for a long time. It feels like the perp, and it's now being expanded pretty rapidly into equities. We saw a number of equities listed on Lighter, Hyperliquid, Trade.xyz, which is also on Hyperliquid, and I think Asta's got some equity perps as well. There's a few other pretty big platforms for this, but we saw pretty huge volumes suddenly go through Hyperliquid this week, and everyone was like, well, oh wow, so this isn't just a revenue around crypto trading play, but suddenly this is a trade around equity perps. You traded, you said it was the first time you've traded equity 4 or 5 years, no?
I only bought stocks once in my life, and it was AMC and GME in 2020 Q4. Oh, BlackBerry, I cooked on that. And then Robinhood like really rugged us hard, and then that's what got me into Dogecoin, into crypto, and then the rest is history. So like there's a fun story there for you. But I bought equities for the first time because I don't have an equities account. And so I bought some Google because you were like, yo, Google's looking good. But I'm already out of that. That lasted about 48 hours. It was fun buying equities, but the funding, the product. So I did it because I'm such a crypto nerd. Like for those people that don't know, like I'm obsessed with crypto. And I love when crypto changes something. And the fact that I was able to I bought like hundreds of Google stock. Like I think it was 200-300 grand worth of like Google for fun. And the fact that I was able to buy Google shares on leverage on Hyperliquid just felt really cool to me in like the nerdy way. And it lasted 24 hours, 48 hours, whatever. But I thought it was really cool. And that made me more bullish on hype though, not on Google, not on NVIDIA, S&P, Mando. It made me more bullish on us. And I think all roads lead back to like blockchain technology and crypto. Like everyone's obsessed with like AI trade. I think the blockchain trade is going to be 10 times bigger than the AI trade. It's just taking a little longer because we, for some reason, just keep taking bigger hits. But like I bought equities and then just went back to crypto right away. Like I'm here I am back again bidding Farokh, right? So I don't know.
No,
it's much
look,
more fun.
I think that as an example is actually, it is, you can obviously make generalizations from one thing, but this is, I think, pretty important that this sort of age of investors that have been in crypto for maybe multiple years have largely exited from stocks, but they still have quite a lot of money often. And now you just see these very easy rails, like to actually suddenly buy Google stock. You didn't have to set up a brokerage account. You didn't have to do KYC. You didn't have to do this, that, and the other. It was just, you just deposited on Hyperliquid and bought Google. And obviously there's a funding element to it, but you could do it on leverage as well. Like this is going to be an incredibly attractive investment route for so many different people. The fact that the last stock you bought was AMC on Robinhood, and now it's 5 years later and Hyperliquid, you're able to just buy Google and you're in and out of it in fairly big size. I think that is, people started doing the maths a bit more about that and owning some of these perp protocols, particularly the leaders. Actually, to look at them on their current revenue is often pretty myopic, because if that goes a bit more mainstream, it's going to be these volume figures could really start multiplying.
I mean, dude, like how much is Hyperliquid volume for HIP3 right now? It's literally open interest for Anthropic right now is $500,000. But the volume is $158 million for XYZ, right? That's the S&P, I think.
XYZ is NASDAQ, I believe.
NASDAQ. Okay, sorry. Google is $30 million, right? So it's like 250 mil a day to $500 million a day, depending on the day, right? Like when stocks are hot. Like right now, crypto bros, it's Thanksgiving. They're trading crypto. So like they're not going to trick. I mean, the market's closed, right? But like on a Monday, it'll be like $500 million. That's insane to me, right? And so we're going to be able to trade everything on these platforms. So I've never tried the other ones. I'm a recent Hyperliquid user, so I don't want to act like I've been using it for a while. You know me, I'm not a perp trader at all. I actually don't like it. I even use Hyperliquid to buy stuff on 1x, by the way. So yeah. I mostly use it for that because it's just faster and a great tool. But these perp dexes, man, like they're revolutionizing the like the entire financial industry right now.
Yeah. There was a good post actually by Hasib about that today, just about we don't think exponentially anymore. That people are often thinking at current multiples. And there could, if this sort of products now is being accepted, like you can really return to real exponential growth. Perp dexes would be one of those things. The other main thing I would say is prediction markets at the moment. Everyone's incredibly bullish about them. And this is, for the viewers who don't know, Farokh is also the co-founder of one of the biggest prediction markets in the space, Myriad.markets, which I think doesn't operate directly in the US, but operates kind of everywhere. But this week we had a bunch of headlines around prediction markets. We saw Polymarket get some form of nationwide license to operate again back. I don't know if it's a license or just access to operate in the US. We saw some of the states seemingly fighting back. It looked like Kalshi had a lawsuit against it, but Nevada basically reversed an earlier judgment, which means that that Kalshi is going to be subject to regulations, sports booking regulations, at least in Nevada, and then looks like a couple of other states are also looking to do similar and reverse what was the nationwide access that was given. You see everything from the front line at the moment. What's your feeling around markets? You've seen unbelievable growth in the platform over the last few weeks.
I mean, I think they're at the center of everything. A thing that comes in often in this industry is metas. The good thing about prediction markets is that they're not a meta. It's the birth of a multi-trillion-dollar asset class. I mean, you probably know, you're quite knowledgeable about like the stock market, but prediction markets are not a new thing. Like they've been around for like 100 years, dude. And there was a point in time where like contracts and these things were like actually doing more volume than like stocks, like in the 1920s. And so, they've been made illegal for a long time, and it looks like they're coming back right now, thanks to a lot of big players in the space, especially through like DCM, DCO licenses, which we're working on as well over at Myriad. And so to me, they're just another asset class that's going to be taken over, your day to day, right? I think within crypto, especially, it's a great offering because meme coins are cool, but 99% of people get wrecked. I think we both know that. Coins in general as well, altcoins. And people can trade, outcomes, and it's sticky. There's moat. And, I think NFTs were the last biggest mass onboarding event in the history of crypto back in 2021. And I think prediction markets are going to be the next one. And we're seeing that with Polymarket. Polymarket is arguably one of the most successful crypto apps in the history of cryptocurrency. And the last time we saw something like this, I mean, I don't even know, right? Besides Hyperliquid and Polymarket, there's not much, right? So it's really perp dexes and prediction markets, and it's going to start occupying more and more mind share within this industry for sure.
Yeah, it's been every single month seemingly breaking new records. I think obviously
it's crazy.
This victory in the court case, what was it, 6-9 months ago, which allowed access to the US, has been the big driver of recent volume, particularly on sports. But it does feel as a product as well, it is really gaining traction. You're right in that prediction markets have been big in financial markets for a long time. In crypto, they were some of the first apps as well in crypto. They just never really got scale, it felt like. Like Polymarket was nowhere near the first prediction market. There's been prediction markets, I think,
no,
right up until the birth of ETH, maybe even before
so,
then.
The first two applications on Ethereum are prediction markets, Augur and Gnosis. Gnosis, the safe that you use, it was literally started as a prediction market. Augur, which is now doing prediction markets again, was also the first prediction markets. That's 2015. That's the first two dApps on Ethereum. The first two were prediction markets. That didn't work out. They moved on. Polymarket came and killed it. But prediction markets really, man, have existed for so long. Like maybe 100 years, man, though.
Yeah, I don't actually know the history of prediction markets in TradFi. I mean, I know obviously you have futures, which have been around for a long time, and I think there's maybe some similarities there. But yeah, this idea of being able to bet on certain things, particularly for like agricultural products, I think has been around for a long time. And now it's now extending to prediction markets, which is just expanding the scope. It feels like you go into Polymarket, you go into Kalshi, or you go into Myriad. You can bet on everything. It feels like. And then just to talk about, like I just spoke about the growth of the platforms because of the US access. It feels as though there's been more growth than that, though. Like your numbers have what, 10x in the last 2 months?
Yeah, we 10x in 3 months. It's actually insane, Mando. Like we went, I have them open actually right now. We went from 4.6 million. We did $2.5 million in July, 3 million in August, 4.6 million in September. We did 37 million in October, and we just hit $82 million this month.
Wow.
We hit $100 million not long ago. We're $135 million like volume over lifetime, with over 400,000 signups to the platform. So we're seeing it. I think we're very well positioned at Myriad to be that like third. You know, at least that's how I'm framing it, and it's working out pretty well. Polymarket, Kalshi, Myriad. Obviously,
what is driving that volume? Like who are the people coming in? Like what are you actually seeing in terms of the player type, and what are they using the most?
People are loving crypto native markets. Like, we did a market with you and Keyword Monkey, right? Which was like, you and Keyword Monkey bet on, will Bitcoin go to 120K or 100K first, and you both wagered $100,000, right? And we escrow that for you guys, and we did $1 million of volume. People are loving this. People are loving our sentiment markets right there. I see the screen, like it's on the right side, which is like a perpetual market that never closes and never resolves. It's up or down, east or west, Polymarket or Kalshi. We actually have a market called that, which is super fun. And then people are loving just also like this one. Yeah, these are super cool, doing a lot of volume. And people are loving these like quick hit markets. So the good thing about us is that we're very quick to open markets. And so when Zcash was pumping, for example, Kalshi and Polymarket were not as quick as us as like opening markets around Zcash. But we opened markets around them saying, hey, is Zcash going to hit $420 by like end of week? And that was doing like $3 million of volume in like a 48 to 72 hour span. So it's like these things are working and people love them. So anything related to like culture, core crypto, etc., works out because very well, like we come out of crypto, right? Like Myriad Markets is like a product made by crypto people. We own REKT Radio, we own Decrypt Media. So probably the Real Vision people are more familiar with Decrypt. So I'm the president of the company that owns both of these entities. And so, injecting these markets into Decrypt has helped us a lot as well. And so that's what we're seeing right now in terms of trends. It's not even sports. It's not even politics. It's really pure crypto markets.
And can you explain how the business works a little bit? So how do you make money? How, as a user, are they charge fees? Like what's the experience like from a user who wants to maybe put on a prediction?
Yeah, I mean, look, for us right now, the way that we work, we have a 3% fee. It depends on the market, right? We're running some specials right now where like we have some markets that have 0% fees. Some markets have, like your market with KBM was a 1% fee market. We're launching some partner integrations next week, which will be actually 2% fee. But originally Myriad was a 3% fee market. And while that may sound or seem like it's a lot versus, this race to zero with other prediction markets, we need to like make money, right? So like 1% of that goes back to volume. 1% of that, to us, 1% of that goes back to liquidity because we also have to like see the liquidity for all these markets as it's an AMM model. And 1% of that can either go to the partner or to reinvesting it or to returning it to users, etc. That has worked out pretty well for us. So right now, like this is really the bread and butter is just on the fee because, as a media company, which is I think something Real Vision can relate to, it's very hard to monetize that, right? Like when you own REKT Radio, when you're on Decrypt, the only way you make money, and this, is through sponsors, right? And sponsorships. But that's not a viable business model. That doesn't make sense, right? Like the only way as a media company that you make money in 2025 is by selling it to a billionaire or by closing shop. Like there's no in between. Like media companies do not make money, but billionaires love media companies, right? Bezos bought Wall Street Journal, Benioff bought Time, Elon bought X, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And for us, like we decided that like we thought prediction markets would be that thing, right? Because prediction markets and the intersection of media make perfect sense. And so we went down that route. And so far that business model has been pretty good. So we're using our distribution mechanisms to serve markets to people, and we're making revenue on the fee. I believe
is that how everyone operates? Maybe I'm speaking more broadly.
So
How
What
does it work for most people?
they all make money on a fee, dude. Kalshi has a fee. Poly Market, even though they don't have a fee, sometimes there's like a different spread. Like if you actually like look into the economics of the predictions that you're making, there's somewhat of a fee baked in there.
Right.
I do think that there's going to be a race to zero similar to NFT marketplaces that's going to be taking place. I believe the Polymarket US app is going to go live with a 0.01% fee, but I have a hard time imagining how these platforms will make money, right? What we know for sure is that the poly markets of this world were losing a lot of money originally, right? Which is why they had to raise, I mean, hundreds of millions of dollars. I think their treasury is like in a couple $1 billion now. But I don't think that's sustainable. There needs to be somewhat of a fee baked in there.
Right. Yeah, it does seem that way. And I think there was even a lawsuit over the last few days around Kalshi
Yeah.
because of the other thing is like the liquidity aspect, right? And you obviously have to get market makers or liquidity providers in to come and provide the liquidity if the platform doesn't do it themselves. And there's questions about the legality of all of that. So I agree that at this stage, it still feels kind of nascent in how everyone's going to make money because there is this race to the bottom around fees. And then there's questions about how you can provide liquidity then if it can't be centralized and there's no fees. So I feel like these things will get sorted out. I'm sure they will. Like it's almost like you need guidance about how you should operate something like this.
Yeah.
But I do think that the product is really finding its footing. I mean, I saw an interview with MBS, I think it was
Oh yeah,
about
yeah, that was sick.
10 days ago, where he turned up to a dinner at the White House and he said, look, there was money on if I was going to wear a suit today on Polymarket. And I was just like, this is wild. Like the idea that this is now going this broad and leaders are starting to pick up about it. Even a place like Saudi Arabia, right, where this would just be not really allowed, like very, very strict laws around
Yeah.
this stuff. Like the idea that he would be cognizant of that and talked about it, I thought was pretty pervasive. Like you
Well,
never would
it
have.
taps into a different like part of you, right? Like we're men, right? We love to see what people are betting on us and talking about us. Like people, like human nature, right? Like this prediction market thing, which I love. It's taps into this human nature side of you, which is like people
Ego.
love to see how much the ego, right? Like when we did this synthetics trading tournament, I love the fact there was like $125,000 bet on me winning it. Like I thought that was so cool, right? And so the ego comes into play, and of course it makes it to Mohammed bin Salman, right? And because it was probably $100 million volume on that, and then Tom Brady going check the poly market on national television, etc. Right? So poly market has really done an incredible job taking us 0 to 1 and making prediction markets mainstream. They're the best at this. Like they're the absolute king of this industry, and I'm really happy about this. I think they're doing a great job, and they're starting to transcend. People love to predict. I mean, it's human nature. You make predictions all the time. Like it's almost your job to make
Yeah,
predictions. So,
I mean, what we did, like you did speak about it, but like if you have somewhat of a following, you can then also make your predictions almost public, and then people can either join you or bet against you.
yeah,
There is a market here for, and I'm small compared to some of the big people that could, with followings that could set up a subset and be like, look, this is my section of predictions I'm making this year. Let's just say it's the best film critic in the
yeah,
world. You could be like, right, these are my Oscar predictions. They're going live on this platform. Come check them out. You know what I mean? And you've seen that a little bit, like niche experts um, of different things are either winning on Polymarket, or there's this idea for or a prediction market, or there's an idea that you could even create your own content and create your own like platform almost by doing this.
yeah. I mean, people love it. I mean, the pawn market stuff is crushing. I love that you can bet on any outcome, like what someone's wearing, etc. It makes it more fun. It's more accessible. People know prediction markets. It just makes perfect sense to me. Um, That's
Do you
why I think
think
it's going to take
that
over.
do you think that the states are going to fight back? I feel like this is just the beginning. Nevada makes a lot of money from gambling, from sports betting, and it was very interesting to see
I,
that it's FanDuel, right, and maybe one of the other big providers pulled out of Nevada, of getting a Nevada license because they're going to go down the prediction market route. Robinhood announced they're going to do a prediction market. It suddenly feels as though the value of Nevada as a place to have a license is being evaporated pretty quickly, and they are seemingly fighting back. Do you foresee this now being slightly a state by state issue, and like these are going to be in the courts for a while?
I think that Kalshi in their marketing maybe ruffled the wrong feathers. I also think that it's just glass houses, so it goes both ways. Like these gambling entities, like dude, the state of Nevada, Massachusetts, New York, all these people, they're not much better than Kalshi is, etc. Right? Like they're literally promoting gambling to people on a state level and trying to get people to like hyper gamble on like sports, right? And they're just mad that a new player on the block is coming and eating over their cereal, right? Or whatever it is, right? And so they're just pissed off about this. I do think Kalshi may have gotten a little too how do you say gourmand in English? They got really hungry. I forgot the English
Okay.
word.
I get what you're saying. A little bit too greedy, essentially.
But not greedy, but yeah, I know what you mean. But it's they tried to buy a little more than they could chew, maybe. But maybe that's why they raised a lot of money, because they want to go to war and go to court and win again. Because hey, think about it, Kalshi won in court once and made prediction markets legal, right? They got approved by CFTC, etc. Then were able to serve political markets. So you're betting. So I think people don't understand, like Kalshi and Play Market are going face to face against states, MGM, and betting conglomerates. And you're in the casino business, so you know this better than I do. These are massive, and they will do whatever it takes, lobbying wise, etc., to take you down. And when Kalshi and their marketing were like, "Yo, we're legal in 50 states," sports betting is not legal in 50 states. Actually, sports betting is illegal in like a lot of states. So the fact that most of the volume came from sports, I think, didn't help. And this is why there's this lawsuit. But it could also be a nothing burger, and they could be winning this soon, and that could open a lot of doors for prediction markets. So we'll see.
I think you're right there. Kalshi have been leaning heavily into sports more than the other platforms, and the experience is very much like just sports betting. So maybe they just got too close to the bone. Polymarket seems a bit more broad, I would say, in what they have markets for. I know Myriad is similar as well. Like sports is a subset, but it's maybe done in a different sort of way. And I know that for example, that there are market makers of big sports books that are also on Kalshi. So I think a lot of this is pretty fair. Like it's but again, this feels like crypto's best shot to kind of go a bit more mainstream. I know Kalshi's less of a crypto-based platform than some of the others, but it does feel like this as a product is going to go big. Like if MBS is aware of it, it kind of feels like this isn't just a US thing. Like this could be a very much thing for.
I'm in Dubai right now, and the main topic conversation is always prediction markets. Like I'm having meetings with some of the biggest exchanges in the world. I'm having meetings with some of the biggest VCs in the world, some of the biggest, like, you know me, like I was just in Singapore and Korea for Korea Blockchain Week and Token 2049. And there's a reason I'm here, because I'm being invited to speak at these conferences. What's funny is Polymarket and Kalshi is really focused on the West. And this is why I'm here, because I'm mostly focused on the East. I mean, we know it. Asian people and Asian culture is much bigger into this type of stuff, whether it's betting, gambling, predicting, etc. And there's much more money in crypto here, but somehow prediction markets are only focused on the West. But they love it here, man. Like the main topic of conversation right now is prediction markets, no matter where you go.
Yeah, it does feel as though prediction. I haven't really seen many market towards. Obviously Asian gambling laws are a little bit more strict, but I don't really know. It's so weird. Prediction markets are pretty. It's been increasingly difficult to work out where they kind of sit for some of this sort of stuff. I obviously it's pretty tough to say that they're not gambling in my eyes, but legally it does feel like because they are more you versus another user. It feels like they've been able to slip through the cracks a little bit more, and I can see them being absolutely huge in Asia if they just get used a bit more.
Yeah,
Is it
I think it's gonna take off.
I know obviously you see a lot around crypto at the moment. You go to a lot of conferences. You're in Asia at the moment, but is there anything else you're feeling at the moment now in terms of the market? Like, when I was in Asia recently, I was like, there's no way we're in a bear market. Like we are just going to keep on powering forward. Is there anything else you've picked up in your recent conferences? Are you kind of as bullish as ever? Do you think it would be impossible to kind of for crypto to go through a bear market here?
I guess someone know or no more next week when Binance Blockchain Week really opens up. But the thing is, everyone's coming. Like Sailor, it's funny. Peter Schiff and CZ are debating here next week, I think.
Peter
And
Schiff and CZ.
yeah.
Oh yes, this is a public debate that they announced.
It's happening here. I know obviously Raul's coming. He told me he's coming on Sunday. Everyone's like, it's hard for me to like be bearish in a way because I'm so in the mix of it. So I see everything. There's a lot of VC capital flowing in, Mando. There's still a lot of, I mean, our volume are insane. Like people's backs may not be up, but this industry is like thriving, right? Like there's still so much going on and massive events, and people are excited about perp dexes and prediction. Yeah, sure. Like people may not be talking about, we're talking about Farcoin, but Farcoin as much, right? Or, meme coins. But I mean, look at this list. Oh, there you go. Raul's right up there. But look at this list of people speaking, right? It's like this is not stopping or slowing down anytime soon, right?
Yeah,
you have governments getting involved. Like
it has been interesting to me to see like the growth of huge crypto-enabled businesses, things like Polymarket. They feel less. If we had last cycle, we had things like Bored Apes, and we had things like Axie Infinity. They felt more like fragile, like they may not last a cycle. There was even during that cycle, I remember everyone being like, this is just a fad. I agree with the sentiment that you just said that some of the things being built right now, they feel far more permanent. If you talk about neobanks or big payments companies like MoonPay and and then now prediction markets, these things feel like they are going to be with us in 4 years, and probably the valuations will be much higher. Yet, it feels as though the market is telling you that the value of the coins is a bit more fragile. It's been a very strange market like that. I agree.
I mean, that's the value of the coins are just valued where they should be right now, which means close to zero for most of them. We overvalue these coins for forever. I think we don't have to fake that. It's just a fact. We just love trading them. A lot of these things are nothing burgers. I mean, building a company in the space and working on our own TG and our own stuff, I can tell you like a lot of the stuff shouldn't have TGE. It shouldn't even exist. But I understand that some founders needed some cash. But it's just like, there is a very strong foothold on the industry right now. Like what I like right now is what I'm seeing is like there's a focus on perp dexes, privacy, right? Privacy is taking a front stage again in crypto, and prediction markets. And this is much more serious and much better, in my opinion, than launch pads, etc., which is what we've had for forever. So it's like I feel like the industry has like matured in such a good way and has grown out. Now, some people may think that it has become more institutionalized or too institutionalized, but in a way that has given it a lot of, credibility. And we have some good products now that are able to be used, right? So, I think even recently, you just mentioned earlier, Robinhood getting into the prediction market space deeper with Susquehanna, right? They acquired LedgerX. Do you know the story of LedgerX? LedgerX is an exchange that was started 10 years ago, Mando, that was fighting regulations for years and years and years. Kept building, kept building, kept building. They kept getting like rugged by the government, literally, right? They got their licenses, DCM, DCO, all that good stuff. FTX acquired them or tried to acquire them to make them their thing. Obviously, that doesn't work out because FTX goes under. And these founders kept going, but they had the licenses to operate in the US after like years of operating. And now Susquehanna and Robinhood partnered to acquire them so that they could run their own prediction markets and futures contracts on them. I think that's very telling, right? Like the companies that are building and are getting these the fundamentals right, getting these licenses, etc., are going to exist forever, right? And that's a testament to the space. I think that you know, if you just like try and do things properly and build for long term, like you're going to stick around. So there's like we're not going anywhere. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I agree. We may not go anywhere even if the coins go lower. Like the businesses will just get more valuable.
The coins mean nothing. Literally. Only Bitcoin. Like only Bitcoin at the end of the day technically means something. And then maybe like a basket of them, right? Like we're always gonna be bidding the fun stuff, like the memes, etc., because that's just tension economy. So we're always gonna want to put a price to that. There's always gonna be a runner. There's runners right now. There's meme coins running right now. They're gonna go to zero, but they're gonna run, and I'm gonna buy them, right? But at the end of the day, like, I think this was a big eye opener. I think someone posted a tweet, Mando, about how the S&P has been going up forever, but others, like alts, have been sideways for 5 years now. I think that's very telling.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's, although I agree with the correlation with global liquidity and Bitcoin, it falls away pretty quickly when you start talking about that with other altcoins. But maybe this, I mean, I've never really been a huge altcoin guy, like on a broad base. I just kind of hold Bitcoin and then I move into select alts as they become stronger. But it feels as though some of the ones, like you said, perp dexes feel like they've really could be some of the best coins. It feels like we will get a bunch of prediction market coins as well over the next year. Like at least Polymarket has said publicly they're gonna bring out one. I know Myriad is considering one too, and like it feels as though there could be there could be some coins which last more than just one cycle. Other than that, we've kind of classically rugged right the way during the show.
Dude, this is typical, man.
Friday is typically when the market is going south and I get wheeled out to do the show. Bitcoin has dropped a few percentage points as we've gone live, and everything's looking a little bit weaker.
I've been DCAing on Farokh during the entire show.
Oh, really?
It's just, what's funny? Every Friday, Mando.
Yeah.
Every Friday. It's like, what's crazy? Like Americans got to like do Thanksgiving yesterday. The market pumped like crazy. Like we were going back to yearly open this morning. US opens for half a day. They're open till 1 p.m. today. And we're dumping. They couldn't even get it together. They couldn't, okay, we're gonna dump on Monday. No, it just has to be today.
Well, long your longs. I still think this is no KP.
This is a buy.
Some of the altcoins. Bitcoin is the one that always surprises me here. Like ETH is unchanged on the day. Bitcoin's down 1%.
Do we like that though? Like, let me ask you. Like, do we like this? Like, do we like this Bitcoin altcoins trend?
I don't like it. I don't like it in general, as I've just spoken about. I think Bitcoin's is the daddy, but I do think that you could have real runners during periods of sideways or downward price action. I've been around in bear markets and in choppy markets, and often that is when you get like the coin that often the FOMO when a coin starts moving is even worse as well, because the mentality is a lot of people often have lost money during the bear or just are frustrated holding. And then when a coin starts moving, which they've heard of, or maybe a few months ago they owned or they were looking at, and then it starts moving, the FOMO is unbelievable because you're like, this is the only thing that anyone's making any money on. And I can't believe I held X during this move down and I didn't buy Y. And so that's why some of these coins can go crazy. I think that's part of the reason why Zcash moved as aggressively as it was, because suddenly it starts moving, and then there's just so much FOMO. It becomes consensus, and then Zcash just kind of not having a great week, actually, is it? Down like 450.
It's breaking down now, yeah.
Yeah. So it's just, yeah, you have real aggressive runners during periods like this.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, I like Al pairs. I think I mean, I'm hoping for a Santa rally. We'll see where these rate cuts are, but you know, I think we'll be fine. Whatever. Worst case, what? We suck it up for 6 months, and then mid-year next year, like before the midterms, Trump has to pump the market. Like, do you realize there's midterms in November next year? Like, they can't go down. Like, they're gonna have to make a move. They're talking about stimulus checks in the mid of 2026, right, Mando? Like, there's so many things. Like, there's so many catalysts, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is true that Trump, I mean, because he also may lose this court case, I think he's really dialing up the rhetoric around his economic plan almost. And yeah, those sort of things do tend to make markets feel good. Also, it feels like Google's just absolutely crushing it. So the idea that the AI trade is about to turn feels a little bit more distant. There's been a lot of like bearishness around this, but I think this move, yeah, I think Google being the main leader of this market is actually
It's good.
stronger than Nvidia or like OpenAI. If Google becomes the main thing that people are talking about again, because Google's such a beast, it has so many different businesses, it generates free cash flow. It's very difficult to be bearish on a business like Google. Trades at a much lower multiple versus current earnings. I think almost that's healthier for the AI trade if Google becomes the leader. Anyway, we digress. Maybe we should go into questions a little bit. Just to say, by the way, everyone, I know it's been all over the Real Vision socials, but they are having a Black Friday sale. You can get up to 50% off memberships at and the crypto gathering tickets, which is happening in next year. Go to realvision.com/Black Friday. Go check it out. Get 50% off. Listen to me for many, many weeks more. All right, we'll go to some questions from the live audience. Write them in now if you want to ask myself or Farokh anything during this holiday week. We'll go with a nice easy one. What wine is Farokh drinking?
I was telling Raul this on the show earlier. I'm a big fan of his shows where he drinks and just talks. He hosts this one thing, and it's not often that I get to drink.
He's pretty bougie as a guy,
Yo, Raul is bougie as fuck, bro. Am I allowed to cuss on Real Vision? Sorry, Raul is like king. I love Raul. I love hanging out. He told me he's coming Sunday. I'm seeing him probably on Monday, Tuesday. I love that guy. But anyways, I'm drinking some Hotel Sauvignon Blanc. So no bougie stuff tonight, but I'm going to a really nice steakhouse after this, and I'm going to be opening some Tina Lalo. So, but for now, some dry Sauvignon Blanc.
Okay. Would love to hear Farokh's general thoughts on the meme coin market. Will the euphoria return? And if so, what would be his top 3 picks for 2026? One thing I would say, I said this on the show this week, Farokh and my other co-host on that show, Tyler Orara, they are very good at getting into some of these trades early. Like Farokh's biggest wins pretty much every single time have been some sort of meme coin that you got early. So yeah, what are your picks? Because I'm not that good at it. I normally just pick what you guys have picked.
So first part of the question, will the euphoria come back? Yes, the euphoria always comes back. Always. You had it in 13, 17. I wasn't around, but you had it. 2021, I had it with NFTs and meme coins. It died. It came back in 2024. It came out with Mog, Pepe, Whiff, Farcoin, REKT, you name it. So we always have it. And you know what? We were talking about on the show this week earlier, right, Mando? What I love about this industry is that in 6 months from now, you know how hard it is right now? We're going to have fun again. So yes, the euphoria will absolutely come back. It always does. It's human nature. What are my picks? Well, I don't know, because the next meme coin may have not been born. Like the next multi-billion-dollar meme coin doesn't even exist yet, right? Pepe was born in a time like this. Remember, we were baiting Pepe. Dude, I bought Pepe at like 100 mil. We went to like $7 billion. I 1000x on Mog, right? I bought Mog at $1 million, went to $1 billion. But it was born in a time like this. We're super boring. So I don't know. So I'm not going to make a call on the coin that's out right now. But like I said, like on the show, I was bidding Farcoin. I just bid some more right now again on this dip on Bitcoin because I really like it. But I've also like done really well on it over time. Again, I hate that I'm talking about my book, but it's my book for a reason. Like I love REKT. because obviously, I mean, this is called REKT Vision, so I guess it's okay. OV, brand coin, it's not really a meme coin at this stage. It's not really a meme coin at this stage, I guess, but OV is doing well. He's makes some
We
good
announced some
announcements
stuff this week. We're
Yeah.
doing buyback and all this.
The buyback, 10% buyback of our revenue. You know, and you know, after the liquidation cascade, I know you went in and you've injected probably 7 figures back into it. So I think that's a big testament into that. I think you bought $1 million worth into the liquidity pool.
More than that, my friend.
Probably more. I mean, so there you go. So point proven, right? I don't even know how much you put in because you don't talk about it, but I know you've put in millions. I think point proven is up from 40 mil to like 170 mil this morning. I think look into that, right? Look into teams. Like, I wish I had a token to show you because you should, you know, whatever we're doing is good, right? I think we're really good at building, but look into the people that in this last lull, like this move from Bitcoin from 126K to 81K are here, are building, didn't go. And look into the coins, if it's not people, look into the coins that bounce the hardest. The reason I'm buying Farokh today at 340 is because it bounced from 180. And it's proven that it's doing one of the most volumes on the market. But there's not just that one, right? There's a bunch of other ones. So just look into that. But be careful. Like, I don't go buying meme coins and crazy. I'm usually the one telling you, like, big meme coin this, meme coin that, you know that, Mando. I'm like totally degenerate, but I don't know. I like this Bitcoin dip, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. If it goes to 88K here, 88, 89 and holds that, I'm probably gonna be buying it for the weekend.
Yeah, I feel at the very least, even if you think the trend's broken down, I do think Bitcoin is going to hold this level for a little bit longer. Spencer on the Real Vision website, we have spoken about proof of personhood over the last couple of sessions. Which networks are best suited for this? So we're talking about privacy coins quite a lot. I don't know if it's my sessions or other people's sessions, but proof of personhood, there are a few at the moment. There's Humanity Protocol and there's WorldCoin, I would say, are the two biggest. And they normally involve some form of device which is used to either scan, I think with WorldCoin, scan your retinas. I forget what it is with Humanity Protocol, but I don't think they necessarily need a specific chain, but they probably do need a chain with high throughput, low latency. So the majority of these are similar to kind of deep-in projects, and some of the strongest chains for deep-in have been Solana and Sui. I would say those are the two strongest for deep-in. So I would guess those two. If you do think that there's going to be this big trend of proof of personhood versus AI, those two would probably be the strongest.
Yeah, I don't know why any of this needs a token either, by the way.
Well, WorldCoin's worth many billions. Who knows?
That's WorldCoin, right? Like, I think it's owned, 90% of WorldCoin tokens are owned by market makers too. So that could be a good trade at all times.
Yeah, maybe. Andrew and Real Vision, which narratives do you think will run along with alts? I think we spoke about this a little bit first. I think the last year has really been DeFi, perps, and some of these DeFi protocols being very, very strong. If we go into a period of declining or choppiness, I do think culture could come back a little bit more. It's been something that has really done poorly, I would say, over the last 12 months. So I would be unsurprised if memes is up there. I don't know what else, but I do think you may, because a lot of these DeFi protocols, they are valued based on transaction volume and fees. We've spoken about how equity perps could be kind of a new blue sky moment for some of these other perp platforms, but that isn't necessarily the same for broader DeFi. So I would say perp dexes, prediction markets, and culture style coins would be my three. Do you have any thoughts on that one, Farokh? Anything else that you like in terms of sectors of alts?
No, perp dex, prediction markets. But the thing with prediction markets, you can have exposure yet, which is what I love. Like, Poly Market, I think, is going to be the biggest airdrop in the history of crypto. Like, when that token drops, it's going to be a top 15 token for sure. For sure. And I think it's Q1 2025. 6, sorry. So I'm really excited about it. But, you know, perp dexes, you have hype. I always love hype. Actually, what's hype at right now? But on this dip, but it's
Lights is another one that people are getting very bullish on for the same.
I know. I saw some like stuff about lighter founder and hype founder, like all this good stuff. They're all getting into it on timeline. I love it.
Yeah, people don't.
But
People think the Lights founder is very smart, but seemingly has a bit of an ego in CT. So.
he's been fighting. He's been tweeting about hype, right? But the thing is, like, hype can't be bothered tweeting about anybody else. I don't have skin in this game. I don't even own any hype. I longed it. I sold it. I didn't even get the airdrop. And I'm telling you, hype is the winner. Like, it is such a good product.
Yeah.
The product speaks for itself. Like, this is why for us, the only way I am going to win in the prediction marketplace space, and you tell me this all the time, is with UI UX. It's just a good product. People want a good product, man, though. And hype is a good product. And Marriott is going to be that to prediction markets, right?
All right. Well, it was great to have you on, Farokh, for your first episode of REKT Vision.
I made it.
Enjoy your steak dinner and wine selection. It feels like you're going to have a good time.
Oh, yeah.
To us, tell them to come on before maybe the next all-time high. And for the audience, we will be back again next week, same time. I think it's Ejaz on next week. So we'll be talking a bit more about AI. Obviously, had a ton of stuff going on there over the last month. But yeah, thanks everyone for coming on, and we'll see you again next week.